Hi, everybody. Dan Ullman, Matt Bernier, the DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day for Wednesday, September the 27th, race number 6 at Belmont Park. Let's take a look at this field. We are going 1.25 miles on the inner turf. It's an entry-level allowance race for fillies and mares. The number 9, Crimson Frost, is entered for main track only. Head on over to the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com. Download free Formulator past performances and handicap along with us as we take this field in post-position order, and Matt down towards the rail, one of 2, trained by Chad Brown. That's the number 1, Homeland Security.
Yeah, comes out of a common race as a couple other runners in this spot, an allowance up at Saratoga. I have to be honest, there wasn't a lot of pace signed on that day. I thought this filly worked out a pretty darn good trip. She had every opportunity. I didn't think she was good enough. 2 starts back, though, beat Dovecut, is also in this race. The other Chad Brown trained runner, very lightly raced. Wouldn't be surprised if another good trip is coming. Pace tracking, ground saving down towards the inside under Arad Ortiz. From a speed figure standpoint, can't argue, has yet to take a backward step. Yeah, absolutely. I can understand anybody that looks at the figs and says, out of 3 lifetime starts, she fits in here. She does fit. I just figured if she was going to get the job done, let's get through last time.
Now, you mentioned that Violet Blue, there wasn't a lot of pace in that race on August the 2nd. Violet Blue was up on that moderate tempo and just tired badly at 9-2. It was somewhat of a disappointing performance. I won't hold the Belmont Oaks against her at 76-1, but what happened last time out?
Yeah, I don't have a good excuse for it. Like you say, not a lot of pace signed on. She pressed it throughout, and she really had nothing down the lane. You go to the maiden score, though, 3 back, she came from a little bit off the pace. So I wonder if they're going to look at that and say they only went because there was a lack of pace. In this race where there should be a couple horses, maybe they decided to take her back and make that run.
Number 3 is Sunrise Ruby, is going to navigate 10 furlongs off a 9-month layoff. We haven't seen her since December the 9th, where she raced in an off-the-turf race. Her prior start on turf was a solid enough victory. The third-place finisher came back to run 3rd and then win an off-the-turf maiden special at Tampa Bay.
Off the long layoff, I would assume that she's going to be fresh and ready to go early. She's shown a little bit of tactical speed in the past. I think they're going to have her forwardly placed.
I think she'll be forwardly placed as well, but let's see what our friends at Timeform US have to say about the pace with the Timeform US Pace Projector. And they have the number 4, Scattered Thoughts, adding blinkers. The source was a gate-to-wire winner, 3 starts back. Could be keen with the blinkers up there with Sunrise Ruby, although I wouldn't be surprised if Paco Lopez on the 4, Scattered Thoughts, concedes to the long shot Sunrise Ruby.
Yeah, for a number of reasons. Off the long layoff, you think you're better, and you've got that nice outside position as far as the gate is concerned. Scattered Thoughts, I don't have a real problem with, other than when she broke that maiden gate to wire, it was off the long layoff, and it was with soft fractions. She went out there and she was just walking on the front end. I don't think it's going to be quite so easy here. You're going longer and against better.
For pace projectors, speed figures, a different way to look at past performances, head on over to timeformus.com. As for Scattered Thoughts, trained by Alan Goldberg, we mentioned the blinkers come on. That has not been a good move for Goldberg, as we see from this formulator fact on the number 4, Scattered Thoughts. The past 5 years in races restricted to 3-year-olds and up on the turf, adding blinkers, 0 for 24.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose obviously just the data alone, that's not a positive. If you think that she's going to work at a good trip and you think maybe the blinkers have been needed and then maybe that'll sharpen her up a little bit, I suppose you could spin it as a positive.
Dovecote probably will be the favorite in this race. She is the 2-1 morning line favorite of the horses entered to run on turf. Last time at 85 Beyer speed figure, I believe that's the best last Beyer. I didn't think it was the most comfortable of trips. Barrel of Dreams was able to scoot away on the lead. And Dovecote, if you look at that race, you have to consider it in sort of a harness situation.
Yep.
Moana was sitting in the pocket. Dovecote was sitting in behind Moana. In harness racing terms, that would be the 3-hole. And Moana just sort of clogged up the inside. Dovecote could not get away from Moana. And by the time she was able to extricate herself from traffic, Barrel of Dreams was gone.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good effort from this horse. I thought, like you said, the way that the trip played out, it wasn't ideal. Also remember, on the inner turf up at Saratoga, speed was advantageous. Barrel of Dreams was out there. She came back and just set ridiculous fractions Sunday afternoon. She earned an 89 Beyer in a stakes race. So you know that the class is there, the horses that she's been running against, she fits in here amongst these. I just wonder what kind of price she's going to offer. I feel like she's going to be the favorite in here. I just don't know how short a price I want.
Church Social, the number 6, finished ahead of 3 of these common foes in that August the 2nd race, and that was a race in which she did not have a lot of pace to run at, and she still was rallying to finish 3rd. That being said, this is going to be start number 6 in this N1X condition, and she's lost it 5-2 or less in her last 3 races. Is she sort of a bridesmaid?
Yeah, to me, she's the ultimate key underneath, because I don't think that she can get the job done in here. I agree she didn't have a lot of pace to run at most recently, and she came widest of all, but at the same time, that's her. That's just what she does. You see that 6 times from 10 lifetime starts, second or third, use her underneath.
Now, we haven't seen the number 7 Quant since February the 23rd, where she ran a solid second in an entry-level optional claimer. The 4th place finisher of that race came right back to win a 1-exit Gulfstream with an 83 Beyer speed figure. The layoff normally would be a concern, perhaps not so for the great Christophe Clement, as we see from this formulator fact. Over the past 5 years in races restricted to 3-year-olds and up, in turf routes off this kind of a layoff, in allowances at Belmont, it doesn't get more specific than that. 57% winners, a $6.51 ROI. I mean, Quant earned some pretty gaudy figures earlier in her career, and maybe she's just maturing.
I like that she's won at Belmont Park. I don't love that she did it outright on the lead. There's a part of me that looks at some of the horses that she faced down in Florida and even up at Aqueduct last November and says, you know what, those fields are very comparable in here. You had a couple of decent enough runners, whether it was In Charge of Me 3 starts back, Somersault, the 4th place finisher from the most recent start came back to win next out with an 83. The winner that day, Hidden Turn, got the jump on Quant. There's a part of me that is a little bit afraid that Quant has a little hang in her and she doesn't want to get the job done, and that's why she only won when she was out there on the lead. I have to be honest, I believe in that formulator fact.
The number 8 Seafire added Lasix most recently at Saratoga on August the 30th, past a couple of tired horses in the lane. This is a filly that does not have much speed. I think the race shape could be on the slowish side, sort of moderate to slow, and she might need moderate to fast.
I think if you're going to use her underneath though.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the DRF.com formulator race of the day. Matt Quant, 5-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, I'm hopeful for a little bit of a tactical trip in here. She's shown that she can be a length or two off the pace. I'd like her to get the jump on the likes of Dovecote, get the jump on Homeland Security, and hope that that formulator fact can pull her through. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit afraid that she had a little bit of hang in her.
7, 5, 6, and 1 for Matt. I think Dovecote is the horse to beat. Unfortunately, this price is going to be very, very low. Maybe you just key a Chad Exacta. 5174 for me in the DRF.com formulator race of the day. If you're playing the Belmont Wednesday card from home, $300 sign-up bonus all fall long at drf.com/fall. When you sign up to DRF Bets, please use the promo code FALL300. Approximate post time for the 6th at Belmont on Wednesday. Your formulator race of the day is 4:09 Eastern. Good luck.